Let's change shocks. Rear shocks, Hyundai Elantra, exciting times. This should be a quick video. We're gonna jack it up.
If you're careful, just use a floor jack there. Center it on those cutouts where they would put the factory jack. And then you may have to work to elevate it, but just enough to bring it down. Trust me. Trust me. Trust me.
Alright. Tire up. Wheel off next. After you support it with an appropriate vehicle stabilization jack stand. Lug nuts are 21 millimeters. Big Red to the rescue. If you don't have an impact, get one. And if you're going to get one, get this one. I've had all kinds. This is by far the best. Not even close. 2767-20 Milwaukee. You can get the tool only for probably less than $200. And if you wait for sales, you can get the tool plus the battery. This is my 12 amp hour battery. But you can get a 5.0 probably for the same $200. Northern Tool, Acme Tools, the Homeless Despot, you name it, they'll run deals, and it's worth it. Once you get that pesky wheel out of the way, you'll see here this is fairly simple, about as simple as it gets. And this is also why I'm changing it, because we got some schmoo leaking out of the shock there, original to the car, 2013, it's 2021. So we got one bolt here that goes to the top, and you got, well, this is the non-standard end of the bolt down at the bottom. There's a 19 millimeter nut on the other side of that. This is a 17 millimeter bolt. It goes all the way through here. And a few ugga-duggas, and they should be out. She's a beaut, Clark. And then that gets your top side freed up. All right, there's a little better view of the bottom, which again is a 19. Okay, now we pushed out the head of the bolt there, so it's spinning. So let's go ahead and see if we can polish this guy off by hand. Yeah, no problem. Boom. Pop that guy out. And then old Krusty can come out of her hole, and then I'm going to replace it with the Monroe OES Spectrum yada yada, the 5671 made in USA. As always, and with anything, always line them up, see if they're, you know, at least close before you go putting them in. Everything looks good down here. That up there is a little different, but I think as long as the overall length of that center bushing looks like it's, yeah, on the old and the new, you know, the head of the shock is different, but as long as that center bushing is the same length, which it appears to be pretty close, it should be just fine. Sometimes you got to find the center in it, chew it up, and leave. Age does this, sometimes hitting big potholes and stuff, but this is primarily an age thing that does this to cars. And I'm sure some of you did notice, I should point out that the original shock here, you see how on this end of the bottom of the shock, we've got kind of a, it's going to go over the mounting point on the car. I'll show you. This side does not have it. This is where the nut went on this. So you're not going to find, as far as I know, any aftermarket shock that's going to have that cup on there. It probably adds a little bit of strength, a little bit of rigidity to the overall assembly. But, you know, on a car like this, you're not seeing, you know, high levels of G-forces and whatever. I don't think it's a big deal. So here, so I've got the new one mounted in the bottom, and right here you can see there where it's kind of cleaned off. That's where that cup would have extended over that mount a little bit, and it just would have made the whole thing a little bit more firm. I mean, I would say there's nothing you can do about it. I guess you could press out that center with the cup on it from the old shock and put it in the new one, but you're always risking tearing up the rubber part of the bushing when you do that, and I don't think it's worth it. This is how shocks have been forever and forever on all kinds of vehicles, you know, big trucks, pickup trucks with heavy, you know, loads and stuff. Don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. It's different and it's okay. So now we're just going to put the nut back on here. We're going to run the bolt back up to the top, and we're going to be done skis on this side, and the other side needs the same treatment, though not nearly as much as this side did. And we're going to call it a success. All right, we'll run that down. What's the torque? I don't know. Stuff like this, suspension components, a lot of times German torque, guten tight, is just what the doctor ordered. So now we got to get the, we got to find the center in it, enough to chew it up and leave. And I think we found the center. As it's going in there. Feels like we're going to be threading in soon. Let's just see what we look like up top. I think we'll give that a few turns with a ratchet and we'll be good to go. Did you hear that? A calibrated elbow. All right. Just like Mechanic Steve. Only I don't have a torch handy. Alright, so top one's tight. Let's do that on the bottom and we'll be done. Put the wheel back on, put the hubcap back on, put the lug nuts back on. Take your jack down and go for a test ride. But rest secure in the knowledge that you have put a car back on the road for another little while, without costing somebody an arm and a leg to do it. That shock, just the piece from the dealership, is about $75. The Monroe one that I put on there, here's another pro tip for you. This is $40 shipped to your door, tax and everything, from Home Depot. Got a set of two for $80 and I think 76 cents. Home Depot, for certain car parts, wear items like shocks, windshield wipers, I don't know what else. They have a lot of them on there, not in the store, but you can order it on their app. I suggest you look into that. That's all I got. Stay sober, my friends.